Picture this. It's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. You've had a really good day. You've stuck to your planned meals. You've drank your water and you felt like you are being that ideal version of yourself. And then someone opens a bag of Doritos. 20 minutes later, you're standing in the kitchen thinking, oh, why did I eat them? That's today ruined. And if that sounds familiar, then here's the thing. That moment, that exact moment is where your results are made, right? It's not the meal prep, it's not the Monday restart, it's standing right there in the kitchen with those orange Dorito fingers. Welcome back to the podcast. If you're new here, then hi, I'm Angela. I'm a nutritionist and behavior change coach, and I help women lose weight in a way that they can actually maintain none of the restriction, none of the usual food rules, just a realistic approach that really does fit your life. So this week I posted about a reel that clearly hit a nerve because my DMs went crazy, and it was about two things, just two things, right? And these two things will genuinely move the needle on your results faster than anything else. I want to go deeper on them here today because I think most people are focusing on completely the wrong stuff, right? You're out there Googling best fat burning foods, how to have a fat burning diet, or, what foods will help me burn fat. And the answer is so much more simple. And honestly, it's actually even way more boring than that. So I'm going to walk you through both of them, and I'm going to give you the tools to actually do them. So by the end of this episode, the one thing I want you to have is something that you can implement tonight. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I think this is the bigger of the two. It's minimizing your bad days. And I want to be really specific here with what I mean, because I'm not saying don't ever have a bad day, try and be perfect. That's the absolute opposite of what I teach. What I am saying is that when you have a moment that feels like off plan, when you eat something you didn't intend to, when lunch just goes sideways out the window, when you've eaten the kids' leftovers, all that matters is what you do next, right? And here's what most people do. They'll have an unplanned meal, and then they'll go, oh, right, well, I've ruined that. I'm just going to start again Monday. And that one moment, then that becomes the packet of biscuits, and then the extra portion, and then that becomes a day, and that becomes a weekend, and that becomes, oh, I'll start again Monday. That escalation is where your results disappear, right? It's not the biscuits, it's the spiral. So let me put some numbers around this, because I think it really helps us when we can understand it in a bit more detail. Let's say your target is 1,600 calories a day. And at lunch, you have something that's unplanned. Maybe a meal deal because you forgot your lunch, and it's about 800 calories, right? So that's potentially 300 calories over what you had planned for lunch. 300 calories, right? If you reset in that moment, you drink some water, you crack on with your afternoon, you have your planned dinner, then you are 300 calories over in that whole day. But if you go, oh, everything's ruined now, this is a write-off, I might as well order a takeaway, drink a bottle of wine, eat a tub of ice cream, you're now 1,500 to 2,000 calories over, and that can wipe out 2 to 3 days of your deficit. So it's the same starting point to get a completely different outcome, right? The only difference there is that in the moment reset. So I guess you're like, well, Angela, how do I actually reset in the moment? And I know that it sounds simple for me just to say, just reset, right? But when you're in the mix with all of that going on, I know that effort button, that voice in your head is loud and it doesn't feel simple. So this is what I want you to think about. You need a reset toolkit, and you need to build it before, not during the moment, because in the moment your brain is not in problem solving mode. It's in give me the dopamine, right? But when you have a reset toolkit, things that can interrupt the pattern, that can break the loop, that can say, I've eaten something off plan, but that's okay. I'm going to reset in the moment. That becomes the circuit breaker. Now, these will be personal to you, and you will have to come up with these for yourself. But this, I'm going to share some of what works for me, what works for my clients, right? So one of my favorite ones is the ever simple glass of water and a quick 5-minute walk outside, right? That's not a punishment walk to burn calories or anything like that. It's just changing up your environment, right? So don't think of it as oh, I need to go and burn off those biscuits. You're just getting that pattern interrupt for your brain. Now, also what you could do is put on a song. So you might have a specific song that really lifts your mood. You could have something that encourages you to move. Maybe you want to have a little bit of Dancing Queen. Whatever it is, have your reset song. Have yourself a little dance party if you're maybe working from home or it's on the weekend. And just do something that shifts your mental state. Now, a couple of other ideas, text someone, right? And not an SOS, just a distraction. Hey, do you want to grab coffee? Hey, do you remember that thing that we did? Or just have a little 5-minute scroll on Instagram Reels, right? Something that just brings you back instead of sitting there feeling guilty and ending up in that spiral. And then one of my favorites is splash water on your face, right? And this sounds weird, but it works, right? There's actual science behind this because it activates our dive reflex. It slows our heart rate. It pulls us out of fight or flight mode. And one of the most beneficial things you can do is just say it out loud. I am resetting now. I am not spiraling, right? We're going to parent ourselves at this point. We're going to say, I'm just not doing it. So have that toolkit ready. Write those as notes in your phone. Have it somewhere you can grab it when you need it. And then there's the deeper layer. And I really want you to listen to this bit. So every time you reset, every time you say, I am not going to spiral, you are building evidence that you are someone who does not spiral, right? You are becoming the version of yourself that doesn't go into the doom spiral. And that identity shift is where lasting change lives. Because those people that you see maintaining their weight loss, they're not people that never eat off plan. They're not people that deny themselves a burger that had halloumi fries on it, like I had last night, actually by accident. I didn't realize that what it was going to be. But anyway, I digress, right? When you eat things like that and you have this identity, you say, cool, that happened. I enjoyed it. Now I'm moving on, right? We make sure that we have a short memory for mistakes and a long memory for what works, right? And every time you reset, it's like reps in the gym. You're training your brain. Now, the other technique that we have is optimizing, right? And this one is also massively underrated because it's not going to feel like a big change, but it is super powerful, right? So we're going to look at what you are doing that's working and work out how do we do more of it. Because most people, when they think about improving, they think about fixing what's wrong. They're like, oh, I need to stop snacking after dinner. I need to stop ordering takeaway. I need to stop skipping breakfast, right? And it's all of those things that actually we're just reinforcing that message. And it sounds like, well, if I work on what doesn't work, that's quite logical, but actually the fast track here is to look at where you're already winning. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a look at your week and see, what are you doing well? Right, this is something I encourage my clients to do all the time. Look at your wins. Look at where you are winning, because these are the clues for how we do more of that. So maybe you're really good at breakfast. Maybe you're really consistent with lunch. Maybe you always drink your water. Maybe you always go to the gym. Maybe your weekend mornings have a really great structure. Find what works for you. And then I want you to ask yourself this very important question. Why is that working? Not just what you're doing, but what's making it possible? Because there will be something underneath that's facilitating that to happen. So like, let's take, for example, breakfast. Maybe it works because you've prepped it the night before. Maybe it's there in the fridge. Maybe you don't have to think about it. Maybe there is no decision to make in the moment, so you always decide the choice that's aligned with your goals. Maybe the gym works because you've put it in your calendar, or your friend meets you there, or your bag's packed the night before. You've taken out the friction. Maybe lunches work because you just eat the same thing on rotation. You've stopped trying to be creative. You've stopped trying to Google all these different recipes. But there's always a system, right? And once you see the system and you work out why that works for you, you can apply it to the other areas where you feel you might be struggling, right? So is it because there's no decision needs to be made? Is it because there's less friction? Is it because you've got accountability of meeting somebody? And how can you add those to the things that you think, right, okay, that needs a little bit of work, right? So we honestly don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to think, okay, we take what works there and apply it to this. Now, when I say optimize, I do not want you to think overhaul. This is not a complete chuck everything out and start again, right? I see this all the time. Somebody works out that meal prep works for them. And then all of a sudden they start thinking, well, I must meal prep everything. 21 tiny tubs all lined up ready for the week. That is overcomplicating things and it will not last, right? And I am exactly the same. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I need to do more of this. But optimization that works is actually quite small, right? It's taking something and just expanding it a little bit, just turning the dial a little bit, adding one more meal into that rotation and successfully applying that system to just one new area, right? Honestly, I've been doing this for a decade now, and I know the women who get results are not the ones that make the biggest changes. They're the ones who make the smallest changes that they need to see results that they can keep doing, because consistency, and I'll say this a million times, consistency always beats intensity. Now, I get it. If you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, Angela, but I want faster results, then I hear you. But the fast route to lasting results is actually the slow route, because you've done it fast before and you've regained before. So how about trust me and do it slower this time? So let's bring this all together. Two things, that's what I'm asking you to focus on. Number one, minimize your bad days. Build your reset toolkit, have it ready before you need it, And every time you use it, remember, you're building the identity of someone who can recover quickly. Short memory for mistakes, long memory for wins. And then 2, optimize what's working. So find your wins, find the systems behind the wins, and apply that system somewhere new. Small, simple, sustainable. And if you do these things and you stop the spiral and you do more of what works, you will see amazing results. And not just on the scales, you'll feel different. And this is the bit I love the most. You'll feel like someone who's in control without this controlling you. And honestly, that is the whole point. So if this episode resonated with you, I'd love you to do me a little favor. Screenshot it, share it on your stories, tag me, Next Level Nutrition Coach. Or if you've got a friend, a sister, or somebody you know in your office is restarting every single Monday, then please do send this to them, because it might be the one thing that breaks that cycle for them. And of course, if you want to go deeper on this stuff, and if you're thinking, maybe Angela could be the person to help me build my own version of this, then inside my program, The Last Plan, is exactly where this happens. It's one-to-one coaching where we build the habits, the systems, the identity, all of this stuff that makes the weight loss last. The link is in the show notes. It's also in my bio. I'm also going to write about this on Substack this week, so if you're somebody who prefers to read and digest things that way, you can also find the link in the show notes below. Right, sending you all lots of love. Try those 2 things, and I'll see you next week.